Welcome to our channel. Today, we discuss a mystery so universal, so oddly personal, that nearly everyone watching has experienced it at least once. You put two socks into the wash. You take one sock out. The other has vanished. No holes in the machine. No logical explanation. Just absence. And what if the reason your socks keep disappearing isn't laundry related at all? What if time travelers are stealing them? And not just time travelers, but multiverse thieves hopping between realities, collecting socks like souvenirs. Now, before you roll your eyes and blame the dryer, let's slow down and appreciate just how strange this phenomenon really is. Socks don't just wear out evenly. One goes missing. Not a pair. One. Over and over again. If this were random, you'd expect chaos. But this is patterned chaos. Consistent chaos. The kind that invites curiosity, so let's start with the obvious explanation. Dryers eat socks. That's what we're told. But think about that for a second. Where do they go? Machines don't create matter. They don't open portals to nowhere. Or do they? Modern physics tells us that space and time are far stranger than we once believed. At the smallest scales, reality isn't smooth. It's jittery. Probabilistic. Full of fluctuations that blink in and out of existence. Some theories suggest that tiny, temporary distortions in spacetime happen all the time. Normally, they collapse instantly. But what if certain conditions make them useful? Now imagine a future civilization that has mastered time travel or multiverse navigation. Not the dramatic kind with lightning bolts and glowing tunnels, but subtle, precise, energy-efficient jumps. The kind that allow someone to reach into another reality, grab an object, and leave without anyone noticing. If you needed test objects, cheap, common, identical items, what would you choose? Socks would be perfect. They're mass-produced. They're low value. People rarely notice when one goes missing right away. And even when they do, they blame themselves. That makes socks the ideal item for small-scale temporal or dimensional interference. Now let's talk about why a time traveler or multiverse explorer would want socks in the first place. One theory is calibration. If you're hopping between timelines, you need reference points. Objects that behave consistently across realities. Socks, oddly enough, are remarkably stable. Same shape. Same material. Same function. Slight variations between universes could reveal subtle differences in physics, manufacturing history, or even cultural development. Another possibility is containment. Some physicists speculate that fabric, especially woven material, could interact with spacetime distortions in unique ways. The interlaced threads might stabilize small rifts or act as buffers during short jumps. That sounds ridiculous until you remember that carbon structures, like graphene, already exhibit strange quantum properties. Cotton and wool are carbon-based too. Just arranged differently, and then there's the multiverse angle. If multiple versions of Earth exist, some nearly identical to ours, tiny differences matter. In one universe, you kept that sock. In another, it disappeared. That missing sock could be evidence of branching timelines intersecting briefly before separating again. A sock slips through the crack, not stolen intentionally, but displaced by overlapping realities. That would explain why you never find it again. It didn't go anywhere nearby. It went somewhere else entirely. There's also the unsettling idea that these disappearances are intentional, but not malicious. Imagine future historians studying early 21st century humans. They want artifacts. Not museum pieces, but mundane objects that reveal daily life. A sock tells a story. About fashion. About manufacturing. About materials. About how people lived without even realizing they were leaving evidence behind, and what better way to collect those artifacts than quietly, without altering history in any noticeable way. You might be thinking this is all just playful speculation. And it is. But here's where things get fun. Scientists already know that matter can disappear and reappear at quantum levels. Particles tunnel through barriers they shouldn't be able to cross. Information behaves in ways that defy common sense. Reality, at its core, does not behave the way our brains expect it to, so when something as harmless as a sock vanishes, maybe it's not silly to ask imaginative questions. Not because the answer is definitely time travelers, but because the question reminds us how little we truly understand, and notice this. Socks almost never disappear in pairs. That matters. If this were simple mechanical failure, you'd expect randomness. But patterns suggest process. Selection. Even intent. Now imagine a time traveler standing in your laundry room, just out of phase with your reality. They don't see your walls the way you do. They see probability fields. Overlapping moments. They reach into a moment where no one is watching and take a sock, knowing you'll shrug and move on with your day. From your perspective, it's annoying. From theirs, it's data. Of course, there's also the possibility that we're overthinking something delightfully mundane. But overthinking is how curiosity works. It's how science begins. By questioning the ordinary until it reveals something extraordinary, the sock mystery isn't about socks. It's about how quick we are to accept simple explanations for strange patterns. It's about how much of reality we filter out because it doesn't fit into our routines. And it's about how even the smallest mysteries can open doors to bigger ideas, so the next time you're left holding a single sock, pause for a moment. Not in frustration, but in wonder. Because whether the culprit is a dryer, a quantum fluctuation, a multiverse overlap, or a mischievous time traveler running experiments across realities, that missing sock is a reminder that the universe is far stranger than it looks during laundry day, and maybe, just maybe, somewhere out there, there's another version of you holding the sock you lost, wondering where the other one went. If this video made you laugh, think, or look suspiciously at your washing machine, let us know in the comments. Do you think time travelers are real? Or is the multiverse just messing with your socks? If you enjoyed this journey into the weird and wonderful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more mind-bending ideas, and share your thoughts below. We'll see you next time, hopefully with all your socks accounted for.